2019 was the day of Autism Acceptance or Awareness Month, or even week, shall we say. I want to be real and honest with you that basically right now what I'm sharing with you all based what I've written in my blog here, because as we know, for many of us tend to struggle with this month of what we do for people with autism, or just us autistics in general that struggles with basically the differences of opinion of what's, this month should be called. There has been a lot of debates recently in the autistic community groups that I've been in, hearsay, and some will obviously have their own matters of opinion, but please respect my one of what I'm about to share with you all today. In this basically, like, the question we need to ask ourselves right now is basically, do we want to be having it still called as Autism Awareness or Autism Acceptance Month? Because I believe now, since we're nearing now in the year of 2019, there needs to be a change up of it all, I believe, because there has been a lot of awareness going on more than basically autism acceptance, because obviously from what I've seen and heard and experienced in the autistic groups that I've been in, there has been so much bullying and so on and so forth, as I've shared in one of my videos based on my concerns for the autistic community, of maybe the future for the autistic community or just the autistic community in general at the present time. As I have been a victim, which I'm trying not to label myself as one, of the bullying that's been going on, of certain people jumping at me for what I say and do or what have you, which is a sad fact of reality, but that's just life, obviously. But we shouldn't let people try to control what we say or do. That's why I'm here to try and advocate and educate you all regardless. I believe wholeheartedly though that a lot of people are now aware about autism, or should be aware about what autism is all about, hearsay, and like, as we know, there has been a lot of advocates advocating, or people with autism that has been advocating for this, be it autism awareness or autism acceptance, which is also just autism in general as a whole, of their life experiences of what it is all about. I have been also known to seeing that me being aware that there is a lot of awareness has been spread around on social media and many other areas, be it on the bulletin boards or newspapers, maybe newsletters or whatever else. But as I have shared in one of my videos about an organisation that I have clearly shared, that me, Autistics and what have you, about Autism Speaks, that has, heard of been dehumanizing us autistics by trying to find a cure for us and creating fear on some parts to what they have been trying to send as messages like vaccines causes autism, and yet it has been proven now that this isn't the case anymore, as more studies has been clearly researched onto this topic, which obviously I have shared about my viewpoint about autism and vaccines, which you can watch above me in the iCard and return back to this video what I'm sharing with you all. And also below you here I will also insert my findings about the brief history of autism and vaccines to gain a better understanding as well, hopefully. So I'll insert it now. You can see it above me. Okay, we need to be aware, especially with the ones such as Autism Speaks of this organisation, that many autists don't wish to hear about, to raise money, to raise awareness on this day. I won't try and get into too much detail though, however, but you can see for yourself to why this is above me in the iCard to find out more about it, about why we shouldn't be supporting Autism Speaks. And also in saying this, I may have done another video basically also, and just be in mind also that this again is my opinion up front, so hopefully you can understand this. I've mentioned also I don't light it up blue like many of you, but that's fine because obviously it's your choice if you want to. I'm gonna try not to sound as if I'm bringing you down or giving you guys hate, because at the end of the day it's a matter of your choice and more. As I did try to decide to wear red this month, even though I couldn't find much red in my wardrobe, or even to this day I've been trying to light it up gold as well as read on my social medias versus basically other platforms I do, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, where you find these. I would like to try and allow this month for me as an Aspie, or as what many people may call me as an autistic, as a month of autism acceptance, because yes, we all do have a lot to do with autism awareness, as I said, and there's a lot of it being spread. I believe now is the time to actually accept one another, and basically in accepting one another based on our differences and what have you, that this month, especially for Autism Awareness Acceptance Month, whatever we want to call it, I believe it should be done all year round, 365 days in a year, not just in like maybe the short span of 7 days of that week of April. I believe basically also, regardless of it all, that we should look beyond our autistic traits and characteristics through of what we are as autistics, because obviously after all we are still humans. Yes, we have our strengths and weaknesses majority of the time. Basically also I believe that, you know, many people do tend to pick out our faults and flaws or imperfections and whatnot, as well as focusing on our weaknesses. But believe you me, when it comes to that time of accepting us as a whole, it's growing into autistic adults, or whatever stage in life that we have autism, basically, I believe that, you know, there will be a time that we need to just stay away from all these empty promises of cures or certain testings for autism that, you know, sends out fear to parents and adults alike. There are often times that I know, or that as we know, there are some dangers to this. It can, you know, dehumanize us. It can feel like we're being belittled. Excuse me. And I believe also, basically, that some people may be still in oblivion about people with autism needs to be gotten rid of, as if we've, you know, got a disease, or we've got that label, we are broken, and so on and so forth. That needs to be abolished as well, I believe, because there's still a bit of stigma and stereotyping also in saying this. Yet again, it goes back to the saying about accepting us as a whole, you know, of our ridiculous flaws and imperfections. As you're aware of, or should know me by now, that advocacy is where I'm at, where I'm aiming and striving for as much as I can on my channel to remove the stigma and stereotyping, along with creating a platform online that is based on acceptance and inclusion from all people of all walks of life, especially those like me on the spectrum and off the spectrum. I've heard so many parents, carers and more that has been saying that there hasn't been much ways of us autistics being included, accepted in everyday life, being in schools, work, wherever it may be. I've heard that many people are saying either autistic are either high or low functioning, basically also in saying this, you know, on the term of it, and many people don't like this terminology, high or low functioning, which I humbly apologise to anyone of you in advance, but this is again based on my opinion. And I also believe strongly that not many people are aware or well educated enough about the more severe cases of the ones that has autism. However, the ones for whom that, meaning that can't speak for themselves, you know, so that they have to have a parent or a carer to actually talk for them on their behalf. I believe also that there are a lot of people that should be now aware that there was a diagnosis for people that was under the umbrella of spectrum that was called Aspie's syndrome, as I said before, but is now classified as autism, which basically you can see this for yourself basically in the playlist that I've done about the diagnostic manual above me also. And just bear in mind also some of these things I'm quoting will be in the playlist as well as I upload. Again, here are a few diagrams right now before I continue about the, you know, terminology of the autism spectrum disorders, which you can see here basically on the very first one, and then also basically the 4 autism spectrum disorders basically that's supposed to come into effect of the actual territory of, you know, the different characteristic traits underneath these spectrum disorders. And just again, as I said before, basically not all children, young adults or adults will have these same characteristic traits. It may may present in early childhood and may be delayed, or it can be impaired due to these symptoms, so to speak. I have also mentioned about the differences of the high and low functioning autism, of what's the difference between it. You can watch it above me basically as well if you choose to, and come back to this. Just to be in mind, I am forever grateful that I've spoken to some autistics in the community and getting to know some of the autistics in the community, hear about their experiences and life stories, as well as watching some of them on my channel or off my channel, and actually just, trying to, get to know some of you, as well as maybe just the adults alike as well. I am forever grateful that I can relate somehow, one way or another, to what they go through in their everyday struggles. I know that we all have personal struggles, regardless what it may be, that we have to face, and that this doesn't mean for us autistics, however, that goes through struggles of our own. Heck no. Of course, we all do, off the spectrum as well. Just to be in mind also, it's all about how we go about in our everyday lives, about how we act and think about it all. We need to ask ourselves or each other what we can do to help each other to, make life really, really easier for us or just anyone. Some of the advertisements posters that are trying to raise awareness, obviously, as I said, isn't helping adults, children, or children that are transitioning into adults or teens and whatnot. But I believe in some ways, even though it has been focused on children for autistics, it needs to be now probably when children transits into teens versus young adults age and adults in general, because I believe right now that there needs to be more need for us to be met here. In saying this though, also I believe that we need to teach people that having autism in general doesn't mean that it's scary for us. It isn't a disease. I can't stress it enough. We need to teach others that people with autism aren't monsters, because obviously sometimes we're being labelled as monsters, or that we are broken and we can't be fixed, or what have you. This again needs to be removed of this way of thinking. We need to teach parents to get a diagnosis of autism as early as possible, and having that label can be an actual great aspect when you look at it. Many people tend to look at it as a negative effect. That's fine, but I believe it can open doors of opportunities if people have the right, frame of mind, as this will give us the chance to shine and prove to the world of our gifts and traits as what we have as autistics. This can also help open doors to many resources basically that we may need to assist in our everyday life, as well as meeting our full potential. I believe, as I said earlier, to remove or smash the stigma and stereotyping that comes with having autism, because it has happened. But this won't forever change or happen until people's attitudes and thoughts needs to be changed about this, about, again, accepting us as a whole. I can't stress it enough, basically, because now we need to break down these walls or stereotypes and stigmatization, because, hello, we are now in 2019, and there needs to be a change for everything to what we do and say to one another. I believe that we should be kind to one another, as well as accepting our differences regardless of who and what we are as a whole. I believe also that we are born different, wired differently, and what have you, and in saying this, basically, we have a voice. We are born to stand out and to be different if we choose to live our lives differently. Basically, we shouldn't have to follow one another, regardless what it may be. If we should be just a black sheep amongst the white sheep and just standing out by being there. I believe, yes, we all have our gifts, talents, purposes in life, but it's all about what it is and how we're going to go through it all and do it, how we're going to use it. Yes, not all of our brains work the same way, albeit if I got a form of a mental disorder versus basically autism. We need to band together now and focus more on acceptance and awareness, I believe. If you're spreading awareness, let others know that autistics are awesome. People on the spectrum are often will and have faced challenges in life no matter what it is, and I have shared my own stories about this. Like some of the characteristics of autism: communication difficulties, socialization difficulties, making friends, reading body language is just some of the struggles that we face. And this is just a surface. Some of us may struggle with more than just that. We shouldn't ignore the difficulties though, however, that we face, basically. We should embrace them. It's more about embracing them as well and accepting us. We are still part of a community regardless, on the autistic community or just a community in general, or as well someone's been reading of the name of Jeanette, even though she's changed her name of hers now known as Yin, about finding a neural tribe, you say, to fit in, I believe. We deserve the right to live to or be here as well for you guys. I believe in also that quote, no different, no less, because this rings true. Basically, this has been touted about in the autism community as widely recognised mantra as to what autistic individuals has to offer to the world. As we know, we see the world differently to you guys. I have also shared about basically my opinion about do we want to have a cure for autism, which you can actually see here above me as well of the video, and the short answer in terms of what I'm about to say to you is no. So to end this with you all that are reading or even going to watch this, basically I will continue on my channel what I do best and anywhere you find me by advocating and educating you all about autism and mental health, as well as my life stories and experiences with autism, because this is what I love to do, that's my passion and that's where it lies. And also in saying this, it's also based on one of my goals and aims and dreams is to remove the stereotyping and stigma behind it all. And I'm hoping most of the videos I hope to do is based on autism acceptance more than awareness nowadays as well, because that is what the world needs more of, as well as the autistic as a whole needs. So this quickly ends my video. Hopefully comment below your opinion. Do you wish for this to be Autism Awareness or Acceptance Month, what have you? And also in saying this, basically, what do you want to see changed based on, you know, people's opinions? If you've got any kind of pet peeves, please feel free to open it up in the discussion. So without further ado, guys,